cameras, and we are live. Hey guys, welcome back to Dallas Geek. I'm Brad, that's Mike, and we talk about nerdy stuff. How y'all doing today?
We do?
Pretty nerdy, yeah. I'd say we're pretty dang nerdy.
I thought we were talking about the geopolitical climate of the modern...
Nope, definitely not talking that. So
I don't really have much to contribute today then.
Well, okay then. I guess we'll have to just kind of wing it.
Alright,
yeah.
We do plenty of that.
Yeah, so, guys, thank you so much for joining us. If this is your first time, this weirdness is kind of what we do all the time, but definitely, if you like it, don't forget to like us over on Facebook and follow us, and of course, like and subscribe over on YouTube. And if you like our stuff but don't always have time for the videos, you can always find the audio for our live streams and our interviews over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and Stitcher. So, you know, plenty of places. But yeah, Mike, what are we talking about today?
Well, I thought we were talking about the geopolitical climate that most millennials will be growing up with in the next 15 to 20 years, but...
No, I thought we were going to be talking about your favorite director of all time.
I will stab you. I will stab you hard.
Yeah, so we are talking about 300 and the ever controversial,
divisive,
I guess, Zack Snyder. So
I think divisive is a very good term.
That's fair. So if you have not seen one of these episodes of ours before, we have a series that we've been doing for a little while now called Does It Still Hold Up? We take a look at...
You're welcome for that, Brad. You're welcome for that.
We take a look at movies that were very popular at the time that they came out, and of course, very nerdy. And we see if they would hold up under today's movie audience, we'll say scrutiny. And there's really no movie that is out of bounds for us. So we are willing to go after all of the great and beloved movies from your childhood and ours. And today,
great movies,
we're going after 300
in here.
This was what, middle school for us, Mike?
No,
not to date ourselves too hard.
I think this was high school. Pretty sure this was high school. This might have been out of high school.
No, it wasn't out of high school.
No, then it was definitely in high school.
So this was 2006. So this was right at the end of high school for us.
Wait, hang on. What month?
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so 300. You have a lot of people that love this movie, especially your teenage boys,
okay,
high school, college
March
age.
9th, 2000. Yeah. So. March
hey,
9th.
we have Aaron over in the Facebook chat real fast, and yes, we do have the blue Raycons over with me. Unfortunately, not sponsored by them, but guys, if you see us, please feel free to throw us some free pairs or some money or whatever.
Why don't you just say that you're sponsored by them and we're good?
And
that's how that works, right?
Yeah, 300
not
is...
how that works? No?
I feel like 300 is one of those movies that today is like mandatory viewing for just about everybody that goes through their violent movie streak in high school and college. Like every guy and half of the girls feel the need to see and just indulge in 300.
Wow, way to go out on a limb and, generalize people, Brad. Good job.
I mean, it's kind of right up there with Fight Club and Boondock Saints as just mandatory viewing once you hit, your mid to upper teens. Like, I feel like that's just, this movie's one of those givens.
Fight Club, Boondock Saints, 300... Yeah, all overrated. Agreed. Same category.
Wow. Well, good thing you weren't when Kyla and I talked about both of those, because, you know.
They tune in and they pay me for my hot takes, so that's what I do.
Is that what we're calling this now from you? Your hot take?
Wait.
Jeez.
What do you mean they don't pay me? We're not getting paid for this?
No. You're still missing over the fact that what we're assuming is coming out of your mouth is good enough to be considered a hot take. I'm still trying to find the justification for, any of that right now.
I mean, if you want the justification, I mean, just...
Wow. So, since you seem so opinionated, Mike, do you think 300 would hold up today? Come on. You and I both know you love you some shirtless Gerard Butler.
Go ahead, what were you about to say? My heart says no, because I just don't get the appeal of Zack Snyder. I don't get it. Watchmen was good, but he deviated from the source material to a point where it almost... The ending that they came up with for the Watchmen film, like, literally takes away completely from the ending of the Watchmen comic.
Yeah. So that's your complaint, is it deviates from the source material, so you can't agree with the movie.
No, what I was gonna say was that Zack Snyder... God, how do I put this very politely? I think Zack Snyder is a crap filmmaker, personally.
I
think he can make things...
I think what you're trying to say is hashtag Snyder Cut?
Alright, look, you know what? I'm done here. No. Look, the fact that this guy has been referred to as a visionary, as... I don't get it. I don't. I said, I will tell you the same thing that I said when I walked out of the theater when I saw 300. Visually, it was stunning. That's about all I got for you.
Okay.
But the fact that there is such a movement to see his cut of the Justice League movie, which I don't know why anybody would want to see that after sitting through 2 hours and 40 minutes of Batman v Superman. It'll hold up because some dumbass will think that it's a masterpiece, because there's deep allegories built into it that nobody else would see or understand except for a true Snyder fan, and because Snyder's a visionary director.
So, are you telling me that there wasn't any benefit that came out of 300 and Zack Snyder's work on it for the rest of cinema for the late 2000s? Like, nothing good came out of it that could justify this movie's existence?
Gerard Butler had a career because of it?
Excuse me, sir, he has a career because of it. There is no past tense there.
Look at his IMDb real quick and tell me he still has a career.
Wow. We got some
That's right.
really hard Gerard Butler hate going on, and that's...
I am taking shots at everybody today. Nobody's safe.
Well, let's go ahead and just say Lena Headey came out of 300 doing very well for herself, and you can't say that 300 wasn't a big part of that. I mean, yeah, Look, Game of Thrones later, but I'd be willing to argue without 300, Game of Thrones would have never happened for him.
I hate to make that argument because I always hate seeing those arguments being made, unless like it is specifically stated, like in the case of Neil Patrick Harris playing Barney Stinson in How I Met Your Mother, where it's been reported multiple times by the writers and the showrunner and the director, Cam Fryman, that he was specifically chosen for that role because of how he portrayed himself in Harold and Kumar Go White Castle.
Okay, fair. But no, I mean, I would be very willing to say that 300 would still be highly well received if it came out today for the first time. Nostalgia aside, that's why I think there is a massive market for, especially in times where life just sucks. There is a massive market for the hyper-violent, hyper-sexualized action flick, where all people want to do is see a bunch of hot people, men and women, all across the screen, just going out and beating the hell out of each other. I would say that it would do just as well today, because it still speaks to the same demographic.
Okay, so let's, I feel like there's somebody that's done hyper over-the-top violence and sexual content 1,000 times better than Zack Snyder. Who would that...
Whoa.
Who possibly...
Are you about to give a compliment to Michael Bay?
Alright, I'm about to punch you through this. You're lucky the censor button didn't work, Brad. You're lucky we couldn't figure out the censor button.
Well, maybe next time.
Yeah. Here's a director I feel like that's made a career out of almost cartoonish levels of violence, but yet actually makes good movies.
And that would be...
You being serious right now, or are you just trying to troll me?
I don't know. Am I?
I hate you. I hate you more than anything in the world right now. So look, yes, I get the argument.
For the audience out there, who are we referring to here?
Quentin Tarantino.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and say it's not the same thing. Yes, Tarantino does the hyper-violent, but you need the hyper-violent and the hyper-sexualized aspects to be able to make the type of film that speaks to this specific demographic in the way that 300 does. And Tarantino gets one of those, but then instead of going for the hypersexualized, he tends to throw in a lot of dark comedy instead, which is fantastic, but that speaks to a different set of needs that the movie-going audience, I think, is always going to have. So I see them as complementary rather than competing styles.
So I would say that on the hypersexualized, that both Zed and the Gimp would argue with you. And Ving Rhames, for that matter.
Wow. Wow, you're bringing Ving into this. Okay. Okay. I see where this is going.
All right, look. No, I get it. I get that there. So Zack Snyder right now is the modern Michael Bay, right? He's the, we're just going to blow a bunch of crap up, and it's going to look cool, and there's going to be over-the-top violence and over-the-top sexualized, characterizations of women and men and that kind of stuff, and
sure,
it'll look pretty because I know how to hold a camera steady, and I know how to put a good shot on screen, but I don't have shit for storytelling. Oh, sorry. I don't have poop for storytelling, or plot narrative.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna be honest. That phrasing actually feels dirtier in some way.
So you're telling me to swear as much as I want. Got it. So look here. No, look, for me, Zack Snyder is... Look, Zack Snyder, I think Michael Bay is a fair comparison, just with more over-stylized violence.
Well, yeah,
But,
no,
like,
I mean,
movies,
I would be
like-
willing to argue that Zack Snyder is very much a follower of the Michael Bay school of directing. However, I
Realistic
think
journalism?
they offer something different. While I'd be willing to say Zack Snyder wouldn't have a career without Michael Bay, I think he did find enough of a niche separate from Bay's style that, love him or hate him, it's kind of hard to not say that a Zack Snyder of some kind is necessary. Like, his kind of over-the-top, genuinely corny dialogue and just minimal substance is just necessary in movies, at least once every couple years, just to keep it going, honestly.
Look, and let's be honest, this is also the guy that conned Warner Brothers into giving him 3 shots at both Superman. Well, 3 shots at Superman and 2 shots at Batman.
Would you really call it conning? Because I'd say that is one of the best damn salesmen I've ever seen. To be able to get that kind of deal out of Warner Brothers.
Yes.
Out of Warner Brothers. Come on.
Well, at this point, look, it looks like Warner Brothers can't pull their hat out of their own ass to figure out what the hell they're doing. And it kind of felt that way when we all found out that Zack Snyder was directing a Superman movie. Let's be 100% real.
I mean, we're not talking about we're not talking about Man of Steel today. That's a whole different topic.
So, look, people will sit there and say that visually, look, and I agree, visually he makes pretty movies, but they have no substance. I mean, it's like a pretty girl that gets like a 300 on her SAT. Like, at the end of the day, do I really
Wow,
want to
I feel like that's I feel like that's overly harsh. I mean, I don't think Zack Snyder is necessarily... I would never call him an artistic genius. But I think he knows exactly who his movies cater to, and I think he has perfected that style in a way that no other directors can quite figure out. Like, I think he has perfected his niche. Love him or hate him, I think 300 especially defined the niche, and then every movie he's done since, other than the DC movies, has been just continuations of it to prove that the niche holds up and sells tickets and continues to justify what he started.
So I'm not going to give him credit for Watchmen because it was a beloved graphic novel before he ever got his hands on it. I'm not. Like, he doesn't get credit for Watchmen as far as I'm concerned. So now let's take Watchmen out of the equation. Just for argument's sake, let's remove Watchmen and all the DC stuff. So we'll remove all of the superhero stuff, right?
Well, if he can't get credit for Watchmen, then who does? Because, even Alan Moore doesn't want to take credit for Watchmen, so somebody has to.
And that should say something!
I mean, granted, you're never getting Alan Moore to take credit for anything that anybody adapts of his work, but once again, different topic.
So which one do you think Alan Moore hates more, V for Vendetta or Watchmen?
Oh,
or League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
I think we need to actually do an entire in-depth deep dive on Alan Moore and try to explain why he despises adaptations of his work and yet continues to sell them.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's actually something we need to do.
So look, so I want to take away, let's take out all of the, let's take the superhero stuff out, right? So let's just, on the merit of outside superheroes, let's run through his films.
Okay.
Which, by the way, do you remember what his original, what his first motion picture was before 300?
Oh, jeez. I
will give you a hint.
This.
It is a trash remake of an absolutely beloved classic. It's a horror movie. And not just because of how bad it was.
Oh, Dawn of the Dead. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, remember, he did a lot of, I mean, he came up the same way a lot of other big-name directors did, doing music videos even before that. So, I mean,
True.
Huh?
I said true. Very true. He paid his dues, just like Francis Lawrence, a couple of other guys.
Michael Bay.
Oh, there's a guy Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
Actually, fun fact, Michael Bay actually filmed the first ever Got Milk commercial.
Which actually, first time I heard that, kind of surprised me. But looking back at it...
Oh, it does...
I got it.
If you go back and watch it, the cinematography, the style and cinematography literally screams his name. But just... So, Dawn of the Dead to 300, right?
Mm-hmm.
Watchmen. Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole, or however you say that.
Sure.
And then here's the one that was the absolute train wreck, Sucker Punch.
Okay.
Then we go into Man of Steel, Justice League, Batman v Superman. So if you take out the comic stuff, which people are already divided on horribly,
Mm-hmm.
and you just look at the stuff that is just of his own, I guess, creation,
Sure.
there ain't much substance there, man.
But I mean, you could say that about plenty of other directors that have
Name
the
'em.
same number of films under their belt as he does. I mean...
Name them. Name them. Go ahead. Name them.
I mean, how many movies does he actually have under his belt? Just let's start from that. How many movies does he actually have?
8.
Okay. And how many other directors who have 8 movies under their belt can you really say have done all that many wholly unique pieces? Don't include like Spielberg or Lucas or Scorsese or the big names. Just any other directors. How many in their first 8 films can you really say half or most of their movies were entirely unique to them?
So I will bring up the guy that they should have given the Justice League franchise to. The guy that literally just made what is arguably not only the greatest comic book trilogy of our time, of all time, but people that actually say The Dark Knight is actually one of the top 50 greatest films of all time.
You wanted to see that style of Justice League?
Yes. Because
Really?
it would have been done by... Because Zack Snyder tried to do it. And Zack Snyder can't tell a compelling story. Christopher Nolan can.
Just to try to cut this tangent off a little bit short, I think that if we got an attempt at grounding the Justice League in any semblance of reality, it would have been horrible. And even, I mean, everything that came after Man of Steel stopped trying to be that grounded with how they portrayed the superheroes. So I would be willing to say that it's not...
Did it?
That wouldn't be a fair comparison to say Nolan can do it.
So let me ask you, did it really? Because Batman v Superman tried to paint Bruce Wayne as a very human, very flawed human being.
Sure. But
they even...
How
Zack
much of what
Snyder
happened
even,
in that movie would you say would fit with a grounded in reality rather than just dark and over-the-top action movie?
Well, considering the fact that a big theme of both Man of Steel and Batman v Superman is the humanity of Clark Kent. A lot.
And yet, all the successful DC movies were the ones that didn't do any of that.
Well, no, they did it. They just did it better.
Really? You're going to tell me that Aquaman and Shazam are grounded in reality? And serious?
So I didn't see Aquaman.
But you've seen
Shazam did the magic thing. Shazam did the magic thing very well. And actually, what made it so good is that it didn't take itself so seriously.
Yeah, neither did Aquaman, and that's the point. DC,
again, I still haven't
the only
seen it.
DC movie that's ever going to do well, trying to be grounded and serious, is Batman. Most of the other superheroes in the DC lineup can't be taken that seriously in cinematic form because it goes against who they are as a character. I mean, even Wonder Woman, while seriouser, was still had enough of a fantasy element to it that it kept true to her character. So, but we're going off on a tangent here, and if we really want to dive into the DCEU, we can do that next time.
Yes, but to counter that very quickly before we get back to 300, it would work because Zack Snyder did it once with Watchmen. Because you had all characters with no powers that were grounded in reality, and then you literally had God. And he actually was able to balance it. Now, it could just be that it was a different writing team that did it. But he actually did it there. And there was a little bit of what he tried to do in 300 as well.
So,
like, there was actually
are you telling me that you think Zack Snyder can be a good director? And that's justification for 300?
If somebody reins his self-serving ass in and doesn't let him make a 4-hour movie, yes.
Well, I mean, how long was 300? We had...
less than 2 hours.
Less than 2 hours. So, what you're telling me is if Zack Snyder's movies are short, sweet, and to the point, they can be good. Which is the very definition of 300.
Yeah. Short and sweet.
So, you're telling me that you think 300 was a good film and would be good today?
So I will put it to you this way. Cinematography and actual visuals, yes. Anything to actually say, no. Now, the argument will come back to, is he one of the directors that doesn't necessarily...
You're trying to backpedal. You're trying to find any excuse just to not have to admit that you actually think 300 was a good film that would be like today. Just admit it. No. Just admit it. Because you know as well as I do, admitting is the first step in recovery. It's okay to like Zack Snyder. It's okay, Mike. Trust me. Just embrace that side of you.
Anyway. No, look, what I will tell you is would it hold up today with modern audiences? Yes. It would. It would still be a successful film today. It's not a good film. It's not.
Oh.
Like, very...
Oh. I'm gonna go back to shirtless Gerard Butler any day and say that's enough justification for his existence.
I mean, I guess if you want something to aspire to physically, yes, 100%.
Aspire to, look at, envy, all the above. I mean,
right. But then when you're sitting there drinking a 35-ounce soda and eating 4 hot dogs and a large popcorn, you just look down at yourself and you're like, well, damn it.
I mean, I feel like that one is more a you problem than a him problem.
Wow. That's where you want to take it. Wow.
Hey, I'm not the one that threw out the movie theater menu there.
No, look, what I will say is that 300, I don't think it's a particularly well-made film. I don't think it really necessarily has something to say that's revolutionary or groundbreaking. But visually, the guy puts pretty pictures on screen.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. I don't think anybody would argue with that. I think the guy, cinematography-wise, is actually probably one of the better ones in the business. When he's not getting super self-serving and trying to put in allegories to Jesus and everything like that. Like, is all throughout the Man of Steel and Batman v Superman films.
So what you're saying is, you like it?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you have a fan base that literally petitioned for and got a release for a director's cut of a film 5 years after it originally came out.
And?
There are stupid people in the world, Brad. That's what I'm saying. Stupid people like
How
stupid
many years apart were the various cuts of Blade Runner released?
That's actually a good question. I don't know. You're talking about like the ultimate cut, the director's cut, the theatrical cut, all that stuff?
Yeah. I'd be willing to say, hey, 5 years in between for a new cut of the movie. Surprisingly, not all that insane by Hollywood standards.
So, okay, fair, but what is insane is the fact that they had to spend $30 million to finish it.
So, I mean, sure. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it's necessarily going to be a good decision when it comes out. I don't think it's going to be the movie that everybody thinks it's going to be. But, I mean, just overall, I can't really say that the move is terribly unprecedented. I'd just say it's a bit more vigorous.
That's a very polite way to put it. No, look, that's a fair argument, I guess. Look,
Hey, as long as in the process of trying to get the Snyder Cut, we don't have some genius out there going, well, in order to get the Snyder Cut, we must hashtag cancel Joss Whedon. I don't care, honestly.
No, the fan base already did that, if you don't remember the backlash for Whedon coming on to finish the film.
Yeah, no, they had backlash against him, but they didn't try to outright cancel him. They just tried to say that his cut was not the movie they wanted, which is fine. I would be willing to say, well, if the fan base didn't want that particular cut of it, then, you know, they should have all banded together at the time and said, we'll be willing to wait however long it takes to get the real cut the first time. But, I mean,
yeah, look,
you
that's fair.
didn't hear cries about that at the time. So,
this is also the fan base that showed that Batman v Superman wasn't exactly the film that they wanted with the box office returns.
Well. And with that, I feel like we've gone on enough tangents, because that was, what, number 8, 9 so far? So, yeah. Let's go ahead and just hit the big one here and just say question of the day. What do you guys think? Do you think that 300 would do well today? Do you think if it was released today, you would go see it? More importantly,
either of us
do you
actually
disagree
care
with
about
Mike
your opinion?
that Zack Snyder really is a good director? And if so, please vehemently tell him in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
Remember, Brad, I now have access to the social media accounts for this little project that we're doing.
You keep making that threat. I'll worry about it when the time comes.
By that point, Brad, it'll be too late. Just like with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
And with that, guys, thank you so very much for joining us. If you made it this far, we love having y'all here. We love you, and more importantly, we want to keep hearing your thoughts on everything that we talk about. And definitely, if you like us, don't forget to share us with your friends, because we'd like to get their thoughts on all this too. Just help spread the word.
Whoa. Number 1, don't speak for me. I don't love these people. They're not me. Number 2, I don't care what them or their friends think. They're not me.
Number 3, don't forget to like us over on Facebook if you have not already. And of course, like and subscribe over on YouTube. because the necessary shilling is, well, necessary. And of course, if you like our videos but do not have time to watch the videos every time, the audio for our live streams and our interviews are all available over on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and of course Stitcher, for the handful of you that use Stitcher.
Man,
with
going
that,
after the Stitcher crowd there.
We don't have that big of a following on Stitcher, so I'm not too worried about it. But Apple, Google, and Spotify love us, so thanks, guys. We definitely appreciate that.
I mean, who doesn't love me? Come on.
And of course, don't forget to join us next time. We got some more fun topics to be able to jump onto and see just how many we can go through before I can finally get Mike to just lose it live on camera. So can we tease what we want to do next week if everything falls into place? Well, feel free. I feel like it is only fair.
There may or may not be somebody joining us on the show that Brad and I both have a large amount of admiration and respect for, not because we used to work for him, whose opinion we somewhat, value. We just need to show him the error of his ways.
Speak for yourself. I generally agree with him. So,
Wow.
And of course,
okay,
if we can make this work out, what will we be talking about with him?
So he, along with other people, is in the camp that Star Wars was bastardized and ruined by the purchase of Disney. And I would argue that you peasants should all get down on your knees and thank God every day that J.J. Abrams saved that franchise from what George Lucas did to it.
Okay, let's leave a little room for the hate in the comments for your JJ love for next time. So, with that, guys, thank you once again for joining us. As always, I'm Brad. That's Mike. We are Dallas Geek, and until next time, see ya.
Bye.